Welcome back to Old Wine Wednesday. Now to one of my very early inspirations. That's why we gotta roll the sleeves up for this one. It's a big one. 1987, Diamond Creek, Red Rock Terrace. Of all the Napa Valley wines, this is for sure the one that gets most collectors salivating. I know for me, even the mention of the name, it's like a Pavlovian effect. It's like, I can't help but to salivate. It's one of the most enigmatic, delicious, and quintessentially California wines, period. Not only that, it's one of the wines that bridges the gap, truly, between Napa freaks and Bordeaux traditionalists. Starting in 1968, this was a unique domain because back then, no one cared about single vineyard wines. In fact, even in Barolo, no one cared about single vineyard wines. Even in Bordeaux, it was a house more than it was a vineyard. But not by Diamond Creek. They established 4 relatively small, somewhere around 7 acres normally is the size of these vineyards. The Lake Vineyard, the most rare, the rarely produced, not in every vintage Lake Vineyard, is by far the tiniest. And the 3 others, Volcanic Hill, Gravelly Meadow, and Red Rock Terrace. Each at around 400, 500, 600 meters in elevation, steep and usually rocky vineyards high up on Diamond Mountain, one of my also favorite appellations of Napa. Combining cool microclimates with elevation and mineral-rich soils, these are wines unlike almost any other. When I first happened upon this stuff, and I myself had started out in Bordeaux and I was very much a francophile, a buddy of mine, Dave, what's up, Dave? We were watching some European soccer. It was either the European Cup or the World Cup, I forget. But anyway, we were hanging out and he said, hey, I got these crazy bottles in this mixed case I bought at auction. I got them for the Vega, but there's some of this other stuff. You want to give it a shot? And he pulled out a 1978 Diamond Creek. I believe it was Gravelly Meadow. And this officially changed my life. This one moment when I thought Bordeaux was the be-all end-all. He popped this bottle and I thought, what in the living hell is going on here? How could a Napa Valley wine, which I always had in my mind as these over-oaked, over-extracted, inky fruit bombs, be something that I've never even experienced in Bordeaux? And that is the trademark of Diamond Creek, especially here with the Red Rock Terrace. This is a crazy volcanic soiled, red iron-rich, slightly northern-facing slope high up on Diamond Mountain, which ripens late, super cool, and very well-drained soils. So even in warm vintages, like 87, for example, which was pretty warm, this had a very long growing season. And it's this sort of finesse and this sort of depth which gives these wines such an absolutely mind-boggling characteristic. But they're not going to punch you in the face. They might give you a little slap, but that's because they're kind of more French than they are Napa. That being said, there is no absence of fruit, there's no absence of power. But maybe of all of the wines in the Diamond Creek stable, the Red Rock Terrace is the most beguiling in its aroma, the most finesse-driven in its character, and probably the most intellectual. And of all the wines they produced in this vintage, which was really nice, of course, standing in the shadows between the amazing 78s and the monumental 85s, this was a vintage that kind of got lost. And that's because most of the Valley Floor wines now are kind of fading. But this, because of where it is and what it's done, has maintained its status to become almost cult today. And it is freaking nuts. Oh, Jesus. Man, every time. What's wrong with you? It's almost like a toxic relationship, you know? It's like a love-hate. It's like I adore these wines so much, but every time I get to taste one, I'm like, why can't I have you more often? If I can't have you, no one will. No, just kidding. Just kidding. It's insane. If you don't know this winery, you should. Okay, I'm done. I'm choked out by this thing. It's like, no, uncle. Yes, they're hard to get. Old vintages don't pop up that often. And when they do, they've gotten pretty darn expensive. Unlike this $45 original wine shop or grocery store price tag that's on this bottle now, you can pretty much add at least a 0 to that if you want to grab one of these days. But if you happen to have one laying around, if you know somebody who has one, if you can find one and you can afford it, for God's sakes, man, do it. What are you waiting for? One of the truly great wines of the world. And now, as a 1987, absolutely at its peak. This is one of the greatest things Napa's ever done. If you don't have any, come to Sticks and Stones and grab a glass. If you're in Munich, find it somewhere. Get it now. Until then, we'll see you next time on Old Wine Wednesday.